Hi, I'm Ailbhe McDonagh. In this video, we're going to be exploring how to create a beautiful legato sound. In previous videos, we talked about our bow hold, and we also talked about our bow arm, and also we talked about the contact point between the bridge and the fingerboard, and what these different lanes do to our bow speed and our bow weight. Combining all of these together, as we draw the bow across the string, we have to feel, before we start, a certain amount of weight that will set the string vibrating. So let me just demonstrate. If I don't have enough weight for the G string, this is the sound we get. You can hear this a sort of sound, and that literally is because it's such a thick string that you need a certain amount of weight to set it off. So sort of like a consonant, you can start with a t, or you can just simply push it off like you're pushing a boat into the water. So that would be sort of like we're going wait, like this. And then once we have the required weight here, have a look at my contact point. I'm about here. So in order to have a really good legato, you don't want the contact point to change at all. The other thing you don't want to change is the bow speed. So have a look at this. Do you see at the end there, I did a really fast stroke and that interrupted the sound. So let me try it a little slower again. And as we come in, we're dropping our elbow, but the hand maintains the speed. As we're bringing our elbow down, the hand still controls so that our contact point is not affected. So when you play the violin, you don't need as much weight to set the strings resonating. But on the cello, you need a little bit of strength, I suppose. So you're never pressing, you're always sinking in. So I'm using my natural body weight. So it's almost as if someone once said to me, imagine that someone has hung a sack of potatoes onto your arm. So immediately, this feeling of everything going from these big knuckles over the hand, everything is sinking in. So of course, if I played this now, that's quite a lot of strength. So I don't need so much to set the string going. But you can see that I just have this feeling of. Now, a great way to find that feeling is if you stand up. So I can feel like my back is really, the weight from my body is sinking in. So here, still maintain that feeling as if you're standing up and the weight is just dropping into the string. So feel that. And you can do it quieter with less weight in the arm. Still beautiful and smooth. The best piece of advice I ever got about playing a smooth legato was to imagine that I was spreading something thick onto a piece of toast. So like peanut butter. So the idea is that it's thick and your hand almost feels like this motion. Sort of like you're stroking a big dog and he likes a big smooth pet. So as I go through the bow, it's heavy here at the start, so you don't need to be so pronated. And then peanut butter, turn over to stroke. And then, so you can see that that feeling of peanut butter gets us a little more stuck into the string, which we need for the cello. Less so on the A string. That plays very easily on its own. Of course, if we're too near the bridge, has this funny sound. But if you're parallel to the bridge, with a good speed and weight for the contact point, then we're in good shape. One often people find hard to play at the start is the C string because it's so thick. When you look at it, it's much thicker than the other 3 strings on the cello. So for this one, you really need to set it going. So we've got to be, again, feel that feeling. Tilt over onto your first finger. And then we're set off at a good, strong, peanut buttery feel on the C string. So if your C string sounds like this, that means that you physically don't have enough weight to set that C string resonating. And by resonating, I mean, have a look here. It's going from left to right when it's really going at the same speed. Look. You can actually see it going. And we need to draw that out of the cello. The other thing about playing in a legato manner is that if you're playing separate bows, you can play legato separate bows. The idea is that the sound doesn't stop. So you don't hear this sort of gap, which would be called detached playing, but legato, the sound never stops. It doesn't matter if I'm playing slurred bowing, so several notes under the same bow direction, or using separate bows. So you can see that this legato bow stroke simply means that the sound continuously goes, there is no change of bow speed or weight, and that everything sounds musically connected. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.